This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello.
Hi.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
I feel like we're all in kind of a happy mood, don't you think?
Yes, it's Ebony's birthday.
Yeah, Ebony! We were going to save that for later.
Beloved stylist, but
Our
yeah, that's what I'm
beloved stylist. Ebony, let's get a shot of you. Where are you? You over there? We love you, Ebony. Rob's got a shot on Ebony. Happy birthday! We love you so much.
It looks like she's on that show Cheaters right now. With the lights and everything.
She was just
We
found.
love you, girl.
All right. Well, she is having a happy birthday, and we're going to talk about happiness, actually, because we want to know, does America have a happiness problem? Oprah seems to think we do, and since Oprah does, we probably do. She's calling it a happiness slump. Here's why. She thinks so many Americans are suffering from it for this reason. Take a look.
Everybody is looking at other people's social media, what they believe to be other people's lives, which is only a snapshot of other people's lives, and feeling envy about that. And one of the things that Arthur and I talk about in this book is that envy is the great destroyer.
The happiness killer.
It is the happiness killer. And so anytime you're looking at anything else with envy, you have already killed your own happiness or your ability to be happier in that moment.
So conveniently, Oprah is out with a new book on happiness that she co-authored. It's called Build the Life You Want, The Art and Science of Getting Happier. As you may have guessed, lots of folks online were not happy with Oprah's explanation. So one person wrote, Oprah is the last person that should be talking about this. If I had a tiny fraction of the money she had, all my medical bills and student loan debt would be gone. That alone would solve a lot of my stress. Another said, maybe it's because every year it gets harder and more expensive to just live and have basic necessities. It shouldn't be this difficult. DBL Nation, what do you think is the main reason, for America's happiness slump? Is it social media? Is it the economy? Is it the political divide or the state of the world? This is for you to be part of this conversation. So go to dblvote.com, weigh in as we talk. Jeff, what do you think about what Oprah said, the happiness slump?
I'm 1,000% on board with what Oprah said, and I think she has every right in the world to tell people what happiness is. Because I read a lot of books, I listen to a lot of motivational stuff, and happiness isn't money. I know everyone wants more money, I do too.
Sure.
The economy's out of control. But true happiness is when you have enough money to really start focusing on what makes you happy. You don't have to focus on money anymore. And everybody who is super rich, who have reached that pinnacle, whatever their goals are, they don't care about the money anymore because they have it. It's one less worry. I get that. Right. I want that too. But then they're focusing on what really brings them happiness, and that's giving back. Giving back to the people is what brings you happiness. Happiness is a state of mind. Right? And your mind controls your thoughts. If you want to make up excuses for why you aren't where you are or why you're not happy, you could control that with your mind. I think health has a huge impact on your happiness. Me personally, not to anybody out there, if I don't work out, if I don't walk, if I don't do something during the week, by the end of the week, I'm grouchy, I'm grumpy. I don't know why. It's because I didn't take care of my body. I put bad things in my body. And that equates to me not being happy. I think criticism is a huge one. If you try to criticize somebody, all of a sudden is, just like Oprah trying to help you out, you deflect. You put it back on you. I'm a very inward thinking person. We've gotten to a place where it's very outward thinking. So if you criticize someone, what'd you say to me? And you have no comeback because you're unhappy, whether it's health-wise, financial, that was a little bit of racist. That was a little bit of sexist. That was a little bit of homophobic. You come back with these labels. You have to take criticism. You have to be able to grow from your mistakes and let people make mistakes. I'm talking too long. I could go on and on about this, but happiness is a state of mind. And if you're not happy, that's on you. Sometimes it's not the outside world. Are there other effects that cause you to not be happy? Are there states to be born into a poor neighborhood? Of course there is. Everyone has a different starting point. But not everything in the world is based on racism, sexism, homophobia, red or blue. It's not. It's your own state of mind. Start looking inward. Stop looking outward. Sorry.
No, don't say sorry. Do you agree with Jeff that it's a real mindset? You can change your happiness by changing your mind?
I do, because Jeff and I sat across from each other when we've interviewed countless people that were put in jail for erroneous reasons, just, horrific miscarriages of justice, served 20, 25 years of their life, of the chunk of their life, missed their kids growing up, and yet beaming smiles were coming back through the camera. And I think Jeff and I were, and this was a couple of years ago at this point, I've thought about it at least once a week since, like,
Me too.
of all the people that should be angry at the world, they were smiling, hey, how you guys doing? And they said once they got in there, they knew that if they didn't fix it, almost like that line in Shawshank, you either get busy living or you get busy dying.
Yep.
There was they all said it to a man, to a woman, that if they didn't change their mindset, they would have never made it. And it speaks to what Jeff is saying, and it speaks to the fact that now we find our place. It's so ironic that Oprah is the focus of both of the things I'm going to say. When she and The Rock lended their celebrity and their money, $10 million, to help rebuild Maui, they got hate. And when she says, here's a book that I've written with another professional to try and help you be happier, and they got hate again. It just shows you that how much the pendulum is swung, where motivational speakers, where philanthropists, where people that are like, not only did I give them my money, I'm giving my time and my face and my voice to try and raise money, and they still get it because there's a seething anger underneath from a lot of people.
Okay, let me ask you guys this, and I agree with both of you. It's a mindset. I read a lot of these books too, and I work on it. I underline, I take notes. What, though, is a feeling of no future for some people? So if I'm someone who's a Gen Zer out here and I'm worried that the earth is burning, and I'm worried that I don't have enough money but I have depression, and I can't pull myself out with changing my mindset, and I'm stuck, and there's debt on top of me, and there's loans on top of me. How does one get out of that hole if there's seemingly a lack of future for them?
Say this phrase, and it'll sum up the whole conversation.
Okay.
Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Say that to yourself. Because if you want to put all those things on top of it and say, I can't do it because of all these reasons, X, Y, Z, you can't. Your mind won't let you, and your body won't let you. You take the exact same person that thinks they can and put all those things on top of them and say, I can do it and I will do it, they will. The difference is your mindset. Take the exact same scenarios for two different people. One wants to do it, one is looking for excuses, and I'll show you the difference.
Very interesting. Let's see what the polls are. I know that was well said. Political divide, 42 of you say it's political divide, and 25% of you say state of the world. The economy's at 16%, and social media is at 17%. Wow. I thought you were going to say it's Tories dancing.
I love
Coming up, thank you.
Happy. It makes people smile.
I hope so. Coming up on DBL, our interview with iconic laugh-in producer, he makes us smile, George Schlatter. We're talking with him all about what it was like being such a huge part of the golden age of TV. And are these really aliens? The wild evidence that could prove there's life on other planets.
Saying is to Al right now, I'm like, a lot of people don't want to hear that. And when you're stuck in a rut, that's definitely not what you want to hear. But I have stories I've told many times about my boss when I was stuck in a rut, and I didn't want to hear it either. And he's like, just sit in this room, read this book for an hour a day, I'll pay you. And it got up to 2 hours. He'd pay me half the day just to listen to motivational stuff. And it changed my life, and I didn't want to change either. I was stuck in a rut. I was out drinking, doing things I shouldn't be doing, hanging out with people I shouldn't be hanging out with. And until I changed my mindset, that's when my life changed. So I understand if you think I'm full of, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because it's true. I didn't believe it either. But if you start to believe it, it's true. I'm just, that's all I could say is I know from personal experience. And I understand people don't, want to hear that
It's
stuff.
the only thing that I've ever seen work. Not only am I, and definitely Tori, been somebody that has been open about working themselves out of a rut, but also, like, I have friends of mine that are not reading motivational stuff like you, but also changed their mindset, started doing one thing. I had a friend of mine who was struggling with sobriety, and he started walking, and he continued to walk, where he was almost 100 pounds overweight, which is crazy because he's an athlete in high school. And he started going from a half a mile, and now he's walking like 10, 12 miles a day. Sometimes he'll do like 15, and it helped him process all the things that led him to
He starts thinking inward.
Right, and it's like you're not online, you're not clicking on things.
alien.
I do think online does play a valuable part in your life, but like there has to be some kind of you have to be attached to reality, and I think when you're not, you start living through other people's ups and downs. That you should never be super mad if somebody's mean to Taylor Swift or nice to Taylor Swift. That should be a small part of your life.
Yeah.
Welcome back. NASA came out with a much anticipated report today all about UFOs, which have now been rebranded by the government as unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Rolls off the tongue.
Rolls off the, damn it. You said it before I did. Here's what they said they found. Take a look.
We find no evidence to suggest that UAP are extraterrestrial in origin. Our focus is on understanding the phenomenon, however, regardless of the source. And previous work from the ARROW has shown that most events are explainable as planes, balloons, drones, weather phenomenon, and instrument features.
Meantime, over in Mexico, these boxes containing alleged mummified non-human remains were displayed for Mexican lawmakers. They were found in 2017 in a Peruvian mine, and they have 3 fingers, shriveled heads, and are said to be 1,000 years old. Stop talking about me that way. I'm just kidding. The presentation.
You don't have 3 fingers.
The presentation was an effort to suggest to lawmakers that the possibility of extraterrestrial existence. So what do you think? Why do you think the governments, including our own, are starting to take the topic of UFOs and aliens so seriously? I do want to
that clip didn't look serious. There were only 2 guys there. If everybody thought those were real aliens, the whole world would send a reporter, at least one. They sent it to cover the World Cup. There were 2 guys.
With
one
an
guy.
iPhone.
Look, there's one guy that he's just there to help take the top off. He's like, I don't know. My sister works here. This is not real.
Okay, let me tell you something. In 2017, there were similar claims in Peru, and a report by the prosecutor's office found that the bodies were actually dolls that were covered with a mixture of paper and glue to simulate the presence of skin.
That seems about right.
Do you believe aliens?
This is Jeff's.
Yeah, like
wheelhouse right here.
Real
I want to believe.
Yeah.
Half of my life I'm being positive, and the other half I'm being completely irrational, right? And wanting to believe
Illogical,
in aliens. Yeah,
right, exactly.
I don't really necessarily believe in this. Like, in all truth, that's a little ridiculous. The paper mache Tori's high school yearbook photo. I don't think it works.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, but I mean, I do want to believe that there is some sort of other life form. When I look at the pyramids and things, I'm like, did we build that? Did we lose technology of some sort that our civilization was wiped out at that time?
Right.
Because how did they build those? Everything's perfectly symmetrical.
To the stars.
To the star. I mean, it's just, I'm so obsessed with Egyptian history, and I don't know if we necessarily as a people that long ago could have done something like that.
I think about that too, Jeff, and I think about Mayan culture and how they had the calendar correct with leap years, and they made it correct astronomically with no calculators, like how did they handle that
this
without
show ancient aliens, everything points to the cosmos from all over the world. And this was 5,000 years ago, and everything, Al's face is like,
I know, he's so mad at us.
but this is what I do, man. This is what I do. I'm a believer, man.
How much time in your day would you have to think about stuff like the stars and cosmos and paint the Sistine Chapel and finish Stonehenge if you weren't on Twitter writing in all caps to Elon Musk? It's like we waste so much of our time. If like the things that human beings were able to do when they were like, we need to when they figured out how to irrigate like the desert and things like this, so they were able to inhabit the Middle East. And like, do you understand? They had to dig those ditches. But when everybody gets together, we can do incredible things. But we can't do that now because now somebody be tweeting the left side of the pyramid's not pulling their weight.
Imagine if you go back in time and the Egyptians are working, and then you just threw them phones with Facebook, and everyone just stopped working, and nothing got done.
Pyramids are like this; they're all messy and stuff. We'll be right back. That'd be a messy pyramid.
When you check your email, you may see lots of different offers or what we sometimes call junk mail. But this email caught the eye of one of our viewers. It claims to be from Kroger and says the grocery chain is looking for secret shoppers. All you have to do is fill out the application, and if you are chosen to be a secret shopper, you can get a $400 payday. So is Kroger actually sending out emails paying people to become secret shoppers? Let's verify. Our sources, Tom Bartholomew, president of the Charlotte Better Business Bureau and the Federal Trade Commission. When we brought this question to Bartholomew, right away he told us,
definitely a scam.
He tells us the point behind the scam?
What happens after you apply is that they'll send you a check, and it's for you to go out and make these purchases at Kroger. Then they ask you to, well, okay, whatever's left, keep your $400. But then we need you to send the rest of it back to us.
Bartholomew says your bank will eventually process the check and determine it's fraudulent, and you will be out the money you sent back to the scammers. Plus, you'll be on the hook for whatever you spent at the store. The Federal Trade Commission is sending a warning to the public about this scam, and it's not just Kroger. Scammers will impersonate other big box stores, sending emails, texts, or letters offering secret shopping opportunities.
These look real. I mean, they've got the right logos, they've got the right information.
We reached out to Kroger for a statement, but they didn't get back to us in time. So we can verify, no, Kroger is not sending emails asking people to become secret shoppers. With your Verify, I'm Megan Bragg.
Welcome back. George Schlatter is a true Hollywood legend, creating hundreds of hours of TV, including the era-defining hit Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. Earlier, we spoke with him about his incredible 70 years in entertainment. Take a look.
Please welcome to the show, George Schlatter!
Hello, sir. I want to ask you something. It's a bit provocative. I want to start. Laugh-In is such a legendary and hilarious show, but the studio was kind of scared of it at first, and I wanted to ask you, what was the hardest part about convincing them to make it?
The censors were the hardest part, but they also helped make it possible, because we had such fun with the censors. We drove them crazy. They had meetings every day. And I love your discussion about what Amy said, it was below the belt, right? I've always loved the term below the belt because a lot of good stuff happens there,
That's great. George, you kind of created that term in a way. You created the first reality show. People might not know this, called Real People, back in 1979. Wow. Did you ever think that unscripted shows like that would be such a huge part of television the way they are now?
Yeah, I mean, it was born out of panic. See, good creativity comes from disaster, comes from a problem. And with Real People, they had nothing to put on the air. So we went out and we just talked to people on the street, and we found out they were more interesting than we were. Real People was a real fun show to do.
Wow. Well, we actually have something in common because before all of this, you worked at a nightclub. It was called Ciro's. Now, we all have nightclub experience. It was in Hollywood, and it's some might have called what you did being a bouncer. So how did you go from working in a nightclub to creating some of the greatest television in history?
It seems to me like an easy transition because there's great similarity in the two activities. I worked at the nightclub, and bouncer was a term I hated, and so I let it be known that I had been an executive in charge of emergency departures. Jolene thought that still sounded like bouncer, But that was all part of my colorful past before I became respectable.
I like emergency departure because it doesn't seem like you got kicked out. It seems like you're a doctor.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, an emergency
Stat.
departure.
We need to leave stat.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we got to keep talking about this nightclub because I have to hear the story. While you were working at the nightclub, you bought a house for Sammy Davis Jr. Please explain.
Well, at that point, they would not sell a house in the Beverly Hills, the hills there, to black people. And so I went up and bought the house. I was making $200 a week. I could not afford to buy that house, but they didn't know that. So I bought the house in my name, and then Sammy moved in. And once Sammy moved into the neighborhood, it became the fun place to be.
Wow.
And but I bought the house with $200 a week.
Wow, man.
Good for you
story.
for stepping
And
up
we
for
had
your
some-
friend.
and did we have some parties in that house? Whoa.
So you also created many different TV specials that honored people like Frank Sinatra, Cher, Muhammad Ali. And I love this moment from a special you produced for Sammy with Gregory Hines. I just want to take a moment and rewatch this.
Putting on those
Yeah, so
Quite a moment.
what was going through your mind when a moment like this happened?
Sammy was under treatment, chemotherapy for throat cancer, and he could not be there. He couldn't even get up, but he got up. And Greg Hines did his number, and I said, "Go over and ask Sammy to get up." He said, "I can't do that." I said, "Do that or I'll punch you." So he goes over to get Sammy up, shows the shoes to the audience. The audience went crazy, and Sammy, with a voice you could hardly hear, got up, and Greg Hines said, "Do you want to do a little shine on your shoes, right?" And Sammy said, "Make it easy on yourself." And he got up and did the dance and topped what Greg was doing. And Greg
Look
was
at that.
proud of
Look
him.
at that.
That is iconic.
Oh my
What a
is-
moment that was.
Yeah, that's
What a
television
moment.
history. To our viewers, if you want to learn more, first of all, George, thank you so much for joining us. What an honor.
Please come back.
Yes, please come back. We want to hear about them parties.
Parties. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. When you go off the air, I'll tell you the rest of the story.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait. And to DBL Nation, you can pick up George's book, Still Laughing, A Life in Comedy from the creator of Laughin' Out Now. Thanks again, George. We'll be right back.
That's
We
how you do
appreciate
it.
you.
Love it.
History. History.
Ballot security is a major issue among voters. Elections officials have recently taken steps to strengthen that security, but some of those steps have created confusion. Verify viewer Mark texted us to ask whether rumors that 0 voting machines will be certified by Election Day in 2024 are true. So, Mark, let's verify. Our sources are the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, the Help America Vote Act, and the National Association of State Election Directors. Voting machines can be certified by a federal agency called the Election Assistance Commission. However, certification isn't required by federal law. States control the vast majority of election laws, even for presidential races. Many states require their voting machines to be certified by the EAC, but some don't. To be certified by the EAC, machines have to meet a set of standards called the Voluntary Voting System Guidelines and be approved by special testing labs. In recent years, the EAC has developed updated guidelines, primarily related to cybersecurity. That update appears to be the cause of the confusion. Starting November 15th of this year, all new voting machines have to meet the updated guidelines in order to get certified. But that doesn't mean machines approved under earlier guidelines are no longer certified. Any previously approved machines remain certified unless they are explicitly decertified. So we can verify, no, it's not true that 0 voting machines in the US will be certified before the next presidential election. Every state, even those that don't require EAC certification, has a procedure of its own for certifying or approving voting machines. Some even require additional testing beyond what the EAC does. And all states, regardless of their laws, are required to follow a few baseline federal regulations established in 2002, which mostly deal with basic machine functionality. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
All right, you ready? Do it.
I think our show's a little different. We could say what we want and go deeper than other shows can.
Our chemistry is just so on.
Sometimes I'm a little mad at my co-host, Jeff.
My co-hosts have to trust that I'm gonna bring it and be 100% all the time.
There's 0 filter with us, whether you love us or hate us or you can't stop watching us.
DBL is on.
A new study shows there's a direct relation between how much you make and how happy you are. Let's connect the dots. A salary in the ballpark of $105,000 a year is enough to make the average person happy. That number is well above the median income for folks here in the U.S., which is about $70,000. It's important to note the number depends on where you live. But studies show it's not necessarily how much you make that determines how happy you are, but rather how you spend it. Researchers say people are usually a lot happier when they spend money on things like experiences and social connections instead of material goods. Of course, money isn't the only key to happiness. In fact, no matter how much money you make, scientists agree, what you use your money on is not as important as who you spend it with. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back. We got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. Steph, what do you have for us today? I'm ready to shop.
Check out this. We've got the Sassy Jones GG Luxe Kimono.
Whoa.
The duster length silhouette layers perfectly with your everyday wardrobe with style and ease. And I just want to point something out, that this little top underneath is not included.
Okay.
Just the kimono, you guys. So normally this is $46, but we have it for $13.99. So that's saving 70%.
I'm going to get like 2 or 3.
And check out this. We've got the Dr. Brandt Drop of Strength Serum and Needles No More Tri-Blend Wrinkle Relaxer Cream.
Whoa.
The Drop of Strength Serum is designed to fortify your skin with just 1 drop. And the Needles No More Wrinkle Smoothing Cream also smooths expression lines, wrinkles, and firms and protects your skin. Normally, it's $174.
Little rich for my blood.
But guess what? We've got it for just $39.99.
Ooh, I like that.
That's saving 77%.
Guys, this is one of the best names in all of skincare.
And now check out this. We've got the Sunbeam Automatic Blood Pressure Monitor with voice broadcast.
Oh, no way.
This blood pressure monitor announces easy to understand, clinically tested, accurate results out loud, and you can read it clearly too on the large backlit LCD display. So normally this is $60. But we have it for just $25.99. That is saving 57%.
My mom has one of these, and it's so important that it speaks out loud. She has a hard time seeing. Brilliant choice, great price.
And then last but not least today, Tori, we have got the Pro Breeze 3-in-1 portable evaporative air cooler.
Ooh.
It's a 3-in-1 appliance that can operate as an air cooler, a cooling fan, and a humidifier.
Nice.
It's amazing, you guys. Normally it's $180. We have it, however, for $69.99. That is saving 61%.
All of them in one. That's great. So head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices. Or you can even scan the QR code. It's right on screen. It will take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. All right, we got some comments about the happiness slump. Megan writes, Oprah is right. Money does not bring you happiness, but it brings security. That's it. It can bring you security. Fair. And Jennifer says, everything is not a mindset. Let's be real. There are forces out of your control. How would you respond to that?
If you think there are, there definitely are. That's how I'd respond. But if you think you could overcome them, then you can. That's how I'd respond.
All right, guys. Well, we hope that you are happy and not in a happiness slump. And when you are, or you feel down, you watch DBL. Are we right?
That's right.
We're the slump refusal.
I think we're done.
Removal. DBL's new every day. We'll see you same time. Bye.